there's nothing about Brazil that is inspiring or convincing or dominant or creative or dynamic. Look, people are going to focus on VAR and whether they got the calls right or wrong. Outside of the VAR calls, there wasn't a whole lot from Brazil. They had a whole lot of possession, passing the ball sideways and left to right and back to right and back to left.
Yeah.
And it happened time and time again. And Venezuela just sat behind the ball. They pressured the ball in good areas. They recovered the ball, went on the counter with Salomon Rondon. Venezuela, even though they were under pressure simply because Brazil had the ball, it's not like Brazil was creating chances. And it wasn't until Everton came on the field that you saw somebody could take players in 1v1 situations. Coutinho, no. No thanks, no chance. Cannot even trap a ball right now. That's the sort of level that he's playing at.
It's true. It's crazy. Everton was the only sort of bright spot for Brazil when he came on. Apart from, how can you have all... There is talent in this team.
There's talent, but there's no real magic, is there?
No.
You know, it's one thing to be a good player and have talent, but there's no real magic. You know, Coutinho at times looks as though he's the one that's going to spark it, but just hasn't been able to. After that, they're just kind of getting nowhere. They tried everything. They threw Everton on, you said. Yeah. They threw Jesus on. They made changes, and still nothing. I mean, up until 30 yards from goal, they're great. Because teams can't get out, Bolivia couldn't get out, Venezuela couldn't get out, so you can't say anything about that. But there's nothing going that way in the final third. It's a mystery.
They must be getting killed down in Brazil.
Because
they've set highest. They've just always had higher standards of superstar players. They haven't always won, but they've always had an immense flair. I said it the other day. They have got quite a few players coming off not only long seasons, but average seasons by their standards. Firmino finished the season not fully fit, came off in the cup final. Coutinho didn't have a great season. Jesus spent a lot of the season on the bench at Man City, where Aguero led the line. All right, he played in the FA Cup, played a few games, but he isn't playing all the time. A lot of these Brazilian guys, I don't think they've gone into this fresh, fit, and actually in form. And I think that's one of their issues as well.
Is it the shirt? Do we expect too much because of the Brazilian past, because of what we've seen, of course, growing up and those generations of brilliant players, that we just think because they're Brazil, because in their shirt, that they could play better than they actually can?
Well, they should be better than what we're seeing right now, even with this group of players. Now, I just see, overall, a lot of Brazilian players that are good but not great. And when the standard has been based upon great individual performances and great attacking play that we have seen in the past for Brazil, then that standard, it's a moving target right now. Because the very best of Brazil right now is not close to the very best of Brazil in years past. And you add that to the fact that this is a team that fans are very much teetering. They're on the ledge. If you push us, we are going to go and boo you because we're not convinced. And this stems back all the way to losing to Germany the way that they did in the World Cup in Brazil, and then the fact that they had disappointment in the last World Cup, and that DJ's still around as the manager. All those things come together, and eventually what you find is a fan base that is frustrated, and they want more, but they're expecting more out of a team that doesn't have a lot more to give.